Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I was asked to speak for 3 minutes on some little change I've made or trying to make this semester in terms of getting tax students to use an Excel template for their final end of semester tax exams. So straight into it then. The class I'm talking about is a final undergraduate class. They are all specializing in either accounting, taxation, or finance, and all mostly on their career paths in those three areas, one of those three areas, and the class size is about 250 students. So why change? Well, as in changing from the traditional handwritten exam format. So I came back from sabbatical leave last July and had the benefit of all the experience of people who were involved in online exams for pretty much the first time for a lot of our students the previous May. And it became very clear to me there were lots of issues around various photos of pages that were submitted, missing pages, lack of focus on some photos, multiple files instead of one file, and a real challenge around corrections, where we had quite a mix in terms of what the scripts looked like. So I thought, is there any better way of doing this to gain efficiencies and improve the whole process and maybe even enhance it in terms of level playing field? And I was very conscious of trying to do something that would maybe make the corrections process, quite frankly, a little bit easier, a little bit more time efficient. Thankfully, I came across a guy called Rex Obing, who's a tax lecturer in the University of Hertfordshire, who, having participated in a tax teaching day with myself and many others, including Elaine, thanks Elaine, she was one of the key organisers of it with the Tax Research Network. Rex had tried a template with his tax group over in the UK last year. So he very kindly shared that template with me, which I will give you a quick look at here, if I can manage to do it fairly quickly within my time allowed. Yeah, so hopefully this will work. Or maybe not. So hopefully you can see that there now. So very, very basic. You start at the very front end with a set of rules and regulations around the exam, which is pretty standard. And there is a combination of theory type of questions, in which case you just hop in here to the box and type away as you wish. You'll hop over to the computational type questions, and these are all your cells. So for example, you could have something like sales could be part of your answer. And let's say if you said that was 5,000, and there was some explanation of how you got to that 5,000, you put your explanation here. It might be, 5 months at say 1,000 per month or something like that. Okay, anyway, you get the idea. And within this, indeed, you have the same cell function that you could use. You can use formulas, etc., etc. And you'll notice that the question is part repeated here. So they'll have an exam paper, but also in the template, it will be part repeated here. Okay, so that's the basic template. And what I did was, I'll just pause there on screen sharing for the moment. So what I did was I set about trying to convince my students that this is the method we're going to use this time. And I got them to submit, to practice on this before Christmas. I did out the template based on the 2019 paper. They obviously have the solutions to that as well, and asked them to attempt the 2019 paper. And we did trial uploads on a couple of occasions. And basically, you might ask me, was it a success and has it worked yet? Well, in terms of the upload, post the trial, I got many requests, not a huge amount, but I got enough that I had to take it seriously. Requests from people who just wanted to go back to handwritten for the Christmas exams. So long story short, and I'm willing to take questions, I'm very happy to take questions on this later. But basically, I ended up having to cave, if you like, and giving them the options of either handwritten as before, using a Word template, which I also provided them with, or using this Excel template, with a very strong word of encouragement for me to use the Excel template. And one of the main drivers from that, apart from consistency, is it's really neat from a corrections point of view. In terms of whether it will be a success, interestingly, by the time you're watching this, the exam will have been done. It was scheduled for yesterday, so I will be able to tell you at the live part of the conference the extent of the uptake of the students of the actual template itself. But I suppose what surprised me most since I gave them this idea of the template is the feedback I received, which said a lot of them are very stressed about using Excel and about using spreadsheets, right? They are not at all happy. These are final year students now going into accounting, tax, and finance careers. This really, really surprised me. So I think there's a good discussion to be had around their expertise in Excel and whether we could or indeed should expect that level of expertise. It's not very complicated, but in an exam stress situation, maybe I underestimated it for them. But by the time we talk, I'll be able to tell you how many of these I got out of my group of 200 plus students. But until I have them corrected, I won't be able to tell you about the quality of what I get back. But what I would be interested in hearing and discussing with you all is indeed, I understand a lot of the pitfalls and the good sides of using these templates. The question is whether going forward we should use them, and going into semester 2 in particular for me, whether I should continue trying to convince the students to use these or not. But I think there's a good discussion to be had, because I do believe it's a good preparation for what will happen in the real world for them. Okay, a little bit over my 3 minutes. Hopefully I don't need to edit this. Okay, thanks.